On this episode of China Uncensored, China launches missiles for peace. Donate today. Hi, welcome back to China Uncensored. I'm your host, Chris Chappell. The South China Sea, home to warm, turquoise waters, delicious sea life, and a bunch of anti-ship cruise missiles and surface-to-air missiles that were recently installed by the Chinese Communist Party. According to U.S. Navy Admiral Philip Davidson, China is now capable of controlling the South China Sea in all scenarios short of war with the United States. Now wait a minute. I remember back in 2015 when Chinese leader Xi Jinping met with then-President Barack Obama. At the time, Xi Jinping swore, "We are committed to maintaining peace and stability in the South China Sea and addressing disputes through negotiation, consultation, and peaceful manner." Could it be that his incredibly high pants are on fire? Of course not. You see, it's very easy to make people cooperate with you in a peaceful manner when you have a missile pointed at them. Or in this case, missiles, plural. This is the South China Sea. These 5 countries have territorial claims, but China claims the whole thing. Now, as China's foreign ministry recently said, China has the right to peaceful activities in the South China Sea. Peaceful activities which apparently include taking submerged reefs and building islands on them, and then building 10,000-foot runways on them, plus hangars for fighter planes, plus ammunition bunkers. And sometime in the past month or so, putting missile systems on them. This is the Fiery Cross Reef. It's one of 3 fortified outposts China has built, including Subi Reef and Mischief Reef. They're part of the Spratly Islands. As you can see from this map, clearly much closer to China than any other countries. CNBC broke this story after talking to unnamed sources with access to U.S. intelligence reports. According to their report, the Chinese regime has put some serious hardware on these islands. You know, for peace. It was that same drive for peace that led the Chinese Communist Party to put jamming equipment on 2 of those same reefs. Maybe this is all a simple misunderstanding. Maybe it's all part of the Chinese Communist Party's new Missiles for Peace Foundation. After all, nothing says an end to violent conflict and promotion of stable security like a few of these bad boys. Okay, let's be honest. Maybe Missiles for Peace isn't such a good idea. Well, at least it's better than jazz for peace. But would the Chinese Communist Party really lie about their peaceful activities in the South China Sea? Sure, they seized a shoal claimed by the Philippines using a gunboat. And sure, since 2012, they've reclaimed more than 3,000 acres of land to make artificial islands, despite this 2002 agreement they signed not to change any geographic features in the South China Sea. I mean, they probably forgot what they promised at that 2015 meeting with Obama when they said they wouldn't militarize those man-made islands. And of course, they completely ignored the 2016 ruling by The Hague telling the Chinese regime to stop building. But as Chinese Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Hua Chunying recently said, those who do not intend to be aggressive have no need to be worried or scared. The current commander of the U.S. Pacific Fleet, Admiral Harry Harris, agrees. Ladies and gentlemen, China's intent is crystal clear. We ignore it at our peril. Right. China's intent is very clear, and it would be perilous to ignore how peaceful all these missile systems are. I mean, even that CNBC article was very careful to say these were defensive weapons. Yes, surely we can all trust the Chinese Communist Party has no further ambitions with these rapidly expanding military installations. Though some think the party may actually be, gasp, lying about its peaceful defensive weapons. Ashley Townsend, defense expert at the United States Studies Center at the University of Sydney, tweeted, calling missiles defensive that are deployed on illegally seized features in international waters strains the definition of the word. This is power projection. Yes, it's power projection, which is also the name of my fantasy hair metal band featuring Kim Jong-un, Xi Jinping, and Donald Trump. No wonder they built those jamming stations. But the United States has repeatedly challenged China's military ambitions in the South China Sea by conducting Freedom of Navigation Operations, or FONOPs. There's been at least 6 in the past 10 months. At the end of April, the U.S. Air Force conducted training over the South China Sea. Before that, it was 3 U.S. warships. And while the Communist Party hates that, Major General Jin Yinan of China's National Defense University might have said it best when he spoke to state-run China National Radio. Even if all 3 carriers came to the South China Sea, what about it? What else can you do apart from a show of strength? Can you attack me? Do you dare to open fire? Which brings us back to what Admiral Davidson said. China is now capable of controlling the South China Sea in all scenarios short of war with the United States. And just when it looked like we avoided war with North Korea. So, want to stay up to date with China and how it affects you? If you're new to the show, click that subscribe button and make sure you also click the bell icon to turn notifications on. And if you're already a subscriber, share the show with your friends. No reason they shouldn't also live in terror. Thanks for watching this episode of China Uncensored. Once again, I'm your host, Chris Chappell. See you next time. Want to get some cool China Uncensored rewards? Support the show on Patreon and contribute $1 or more per episode. The more you give, the more you get. Keep up to date with the latest China news from China Uncensored over at patreon.com/China Uncensored.